Hello everyone and welcome to Riverside Theater's Backstage Chat, a podcast where we get to talk to some of the talented artists who work on our shows and perform on our stage. Led by producing artistic director Alan D. Cornell and managing director John R. Moses, Riverside Theater is the only professional theater on Florida's Treasure Coast. Today, we are continuing our conversation from the last podcast, and if you haven't heard that one, I do encourage you to listen to that one first because you get a lot of information on Million Dollar Quartet, of which these four fabulous actors are part of. Million Dollar Quartet is the first show of the theater's 23-24 season, and it plays October 24th through November 12th. And here we continue our conversation with Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, and Elvis Presley, or as they like to be known, Chance Michael Wall, Sean McGibbon, Sky Seals, and Alessandro Viviano. Welcome again, guys.
Thank you.
I do like to be known as Elvis Presley.
Yeah, you call each other.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay.
Well, you've all performed that many times, so you're more than welcome to be called. I'm happy to call you that if that's what you wish. Now, we talked about the show a little bit last time and how it came to be and the music and the energy that the audience not only gets from you on stage, but hopefully you receive that sort of same energy as a performer. But let's talk about you individually a little bit more and all the great things that you have done. So let me start with Elvis, the King, who...
Very nice. I appreciate it.
Yes, the King. Last time we knew that, or you had mentioned that you had played him 5 times.
Yep, this will be the 5th time. Previously at Berkshire Theater Festival earlier this summer, as well as Totem Pole Playhouse earlier this summer. Theater by the Sea a year and a half ago, and right before the pandemic, the Argyle Theater in Long Island.
Oh wow, amazing. Now, of all the other characters that are on stage, I mean, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee, and Carl Perkins, your character probably was the only one that had already passed by the time you were born.
Definitely.
So you had, I don't know if the other guys had an opportunity to see the characters they portray on stage or live or while they were still alive, but that's not the case with Elvis Presley. He had passed away. How do you research something like that other than maybe watching a video or seeing a concert version of something?
Luckily, there's a wealth of knowledge and video about Elvis Presley because he was so iconic to so many people. His music and fame lives on to this day. So many people come to the show and tell me exactly when they saw Elvis, how many times they saw Elvis, when he pointed to them in the crowd, how he danced, how he moved. His legacy lives to this day. There's so many videos on YouTube, there's documentaries about him, basically everyone surrounding him, Sam Phillips as well. So research-wise, while I didn't get to see him live, which is a travesty, but there's plenty of video, which is wonderful. YouTube is an excellent source of information, and because he is so widely regarded and there are so many fans of him, so many people have various...
He's still one of the most recognizable people internationally ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the first CD I ever bought with my own money. It's 9 years old, and it was Elvis's greatest hits. And I would sit in the shower and just sing until the hot water ran out, just all Elvis's greatest hits. So even as a kid, there's something about Elvis that just, captures.
Absolutely.
Do you feel the pressure to perform someone who is so superstar, so iconic that people do, like you mentioned, have a vivid memory of the first time they saw him or heard him?
Of course I do. There's a great responsibility in playing someone who is larger than life. I don't think anyone will ever fill his shoes, as Sean said, to this day.
Well, I'm sorry I brought it up. No pressure. The heck. Everybody's looking.
Yeah, no.
I'm kidding. It's easy.
I like to think of, especially in this world, in this play where it's 1956, prior to the height of his real superstardom, this is really when he's starting to ramp up. I do my best to give the essence of a young, bright-eyed kid who is still finding his way in the world. I mean, the guy's 21 at the time.
Amazing.
Think about when you were 21, this guy's now dealing with multi-$1,000 contracts and Hollywood and all these pitfalls that no one, I don't think, star-wise, singer-wise, had ever encountered before.
That's true. He experienced things that no one had ever experienced.
And kind of set the playbook on how to handle that, because nobody had a manager grift somebody in the way that is like to that level, because nobody had been a superstar to that level.
And media coverage.
To the fact that we mentioned last time that, like you said, he was 21, but his contract was sold from Sun Records to RCA, so there's a lot more pressure for him to perform, in essence, for RCA to make sure that their investment in Elvis was worth it.
Not only that, RCA was so oblivious to what the actual recording techniques were that Sam Phillips was using, why Elvis was so successful. They understood the image and the dancing and the voice, but they didn't understand exactly the sound. So at 21 years old, they bring Elvis in and basically ask him, okay, recreate the sound, figure out how to do it. Elvis was not a record producer, and he didn't have Sam Phillips' secret, which is a majority of why he was able to be Sam Phillips, that is.
Which was the brilliance of Sam Phillips.
Exactly. Yeah.
To sort of recreate that
so
sound.
For everyone to have, for him, Elvis, to have the responsibility of that $60,000 contract, and everyone in the recording room putting the pressure on him saying, go ahead, perform, do the thing. I can't imagine it as a 26-year-old, let alone a 21-year-old.
Well, talking about pressure, really, Jerry Lee, in the fact that he is this lightning bolt on stage, and the pressure for Jerry Lee to always be that lightning bolt on stage.
I take a lot of ibuprofen. So I actually got to see Jerry Lee in 2018, right before I guess he had a stroke about 8 months later or so, and he was supposed to do, gosh, what was he, 82, 83 at the time, I think, and he was supposed to do a 2-hour set. And I remember rolling out, my aunt had called me and she was like, so Jerry Lee's performing about an hour away, and I'm already on the plane, I'm like peeling out, getting up there. So I get up there and I remember thinking, boy, that's 2 hours is a long time, right? That's
someone of that age, yeah.
And he came out in his walker and sat down, and then as soon as he started playing, it was like, told all these stories and just, everything was a little slower, but he still had that energy. And then he got about 40 minutes in and did Great Balls of Fire and Shake, and I thought, these sound suspiciously like finale songs. He just got up and then just peaced, gave one of these and then peaced out. But as soon as he started playing, he's still at 83 years old, just has that, whatever that energy is, whatever's so compelling to watch, he just switched into it. It was really nice to see live.
Now you, Sean, have a very interesting history. You are a juggler, magician, chess player, and I hear these guys don't want to play with you.
Wait, is that what they keep saying?
They keep saying
You keep roping me in just to slaughter me, man. No way.
And you've also been on the national team for table tennis.
Yeah, that's right.
And kayak polo?
Yeah, I say I'm an only child of divorce. I'm just filling the void. Whatever sticks. No, I was ADD child, and I just say thank God I was able to transition some of this into a career, or God knows what I would be doing. It's just been lucky, just lucky. But yeah, I grew up playing tennis in Austin, Texas, and I managed to tear my labrum when I was about 17, and then switched to table tennis. And the funny thing is, like, ping pong is such a great sport, but everybody thinks like you do in your basement. So I show up back home looking like I was jumping rope in the attic or something. I mean, drenched in sweat. People are like, what in God's name are you doing? I'm like, ping pong, bro. Ping pong. Don't even get me started.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
No, it's great. I played all through college. And
when did you pick up the piano?
my grandmother taught me the notes when I was very young, maybe 4 years old. And again, it was just, I was so hyperactive. In fact, where I got most of my training, my mother was grocery shopping, and I just had left the store. Just walked out, 10 years old, and I was like, I'm done with this. Went to a music store, and a guy sits down next to me, and I thought, because I was thumping away, I thought he was going to just tell me to get out of here, And so I stopped playing, and he was, keep playing. And he played this incredible arrangement over this particular song I was playing. And it turned out to be a 2-time Grammy-winning pianist who played with Asleep at the Wheel, Ray Benson's, Country Music Hall of Fame. And he gave me lessons for about 6 months. And I was raised by a single mom. We didn't have money certainly for a piano teacher, but he gave me lessons for $20 a lesson. I mean, he was just the nicest guy ever. A guy named Floyd Domino. You can look him up if you are so inclined. And that really is what got me shedding all Bob Wills, rockabilly, getting all my left-hand patterns down, and later on Jerry Lee. But it was a freak meeting. I mean, what other town could that have happened in?
Serendipitous.
With a kid from the means, that we had at the time. Yeah,
it was meant to be.
Yeah, just a blessing, really.
And Sky, when did you first pick up guitar? I know you played piano as well, but when did you sort of think, I could be this character, or I could make a living, a career out of performing on stage?
I played piano, played classical piano, and then, my teacher wanted 4 hours a day from me. I was in high school, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I gotta have a life. I'm I'm starting to do theater, starting to do voice, and so I, still played, but picked up the guitar about that, pretty late as far as guitarists go. Senior year of high school, but not really till college, and didn't have a piano moving around New York, and so having a guitar was much easier to strap on my back. And then there were actor-musician shows like Once and Million Dollar Quartet, so there were a lot more auditions I could go on with my guitar, and I liked doing that stuff better than singing Anthem from Chess every time, and then, but I didn't get the call for Million Dollar Quartet until 2016, and I had auditioned kind of for Johnny, but I didn't see myself as a Johnny back then. I was like maybe Elvis, and I'd learned some Carl stuff, but I never really got to the next level of auditions. And was asked to send in a tape for Johnny last minute, and just happened to have done the show with the wife of the music director, Dave Sonneborn, where I played Bob Dylan off Broadway for like a year.
Wow.
And she happened to be walking by while he watched my audition and was like, oh, that Sky, he's great, hire him. And that's how I got Johnny Cash, and 18 productions later, he's such a huge part of me, it's been such a privilege.
The theater world is really small.
It is.
Have you guys ever worked with each other before?
Sean and I did a production of MDQ back in 2019.
With the original Jerry Lee, Levi Kreis, who came back to play Sam Phillips, because he was a Tennessee local.
Which was a great experience.
Incredible.
We got stories.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
We got he'd put on concerts for the community, and just a beautiful human being.
Yeah, really great experience. And then obviously playing the part that he had originated was, it was like everything had come full circle. It was such a cathartic, wonderful experience.
And had
Yep, Sky and I, my second production, Sky, I met this beautiful human, and our director, Greg Santos.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of small world, his mom was in that show off Broadway where I played Bob Dylan. I knew him as a little kid, and then met him.
Why didn't you lead with that? That's really interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Chance, how did you get involved? Was it as a child that you had the bug to get into performing? Did you have a supportive family that got you going?
I do have a beautiful supporting family, but I grew up a sports kid. So I grew up playing basketball, baseball, and soccer. And I busted up my knee about 12 or 13, and it kind of took me out of the sports world for a bit. And a friend of mine forced me to audition for Clue the musical.
Oh, wow.
And I told him no, and then somehow I ended up doing a monologue for a teacher, and then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the sense of community that you were able to create, and you were just building something out of nothing. And I fell in love with it. And my parents had no idea what to do when I told them I wanted to do this as a career. They
Came out of left field.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, absolutely. And so they took that hard shift with me, and I picked up bass guitar. That was the first instrument that I learned, and then I taught myself acoustic guitar and ukulele, and over the years, for specific shows, I had to teach myself mandolin, a little bit of banjo, some upright bass, a little harmonica, and I can dabble on the piano, but I can't do what this guy does.
Again, thank God.
Yeah.
Coming in here stealing one.
So yeah, it was. I certainly didn't expect to be here, but happy I am.
Well, my office is directly on the other side of your rehearsal hall, and I can hear you guys jamming in there, and I must say I'm so excited to see you guys on stage, as I'm sure everyone in the audience, everyone hearing this will definitely want to come sing Million Dollar Quartet with all of you.
Just
here at
picture the
Riverside
coffee cups
Theater.
rattling on
Yeah,
the shelves.
I love it.
As you're trying to work,
Now, I'm sure you've all done some amazing productions with other people. Would you like to share one sort of show or character that really stands out, other than Million Dollar Quartet?
I'm one of the, you can get kind of pigeonholed in the actor-musician shows.
Well, Sky, you've been playing Johnny Lee for...
Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
We've combined the
Johnny Lee.
Johnny
This
Lee.
whole time?
They're unstoppable now.
No, but I got to do another show. Hunter Foster was the director who originally cast me. He was the Sam Phillips on Broadway, and we became friends. And he cast me in God of Carnage at his theater company up in Syracuse.
No music in that one.
No music in that one, and so I was very happy to not only do a different show with Hunter, but a straight show with his wife Jen Cody and Jeremy Kushner, and we had a heck of a good time rolling around on the floor.
Jen has
acting
been
like
here.
Fools.
Jen has been here a couple of times. She was just here last year. She's a dynamo.
Yeah.
Right, Sean?
Yes.
She's a dynamo,
She's
and
wonderful.
she's wonderful. She
Yeah.
really is. She is wonderful.
Yeah.
I open it up to Sean, Alessandro, Chance.
Yeah, what we touched on this earlier. I truly thought I was going to be a song and dance man from the majority of my career. And tap, the kids do not like tap in the way that I had hoped that the kids would like tap. Because I put a lot of eggs in that basket. I put a lot of eggs in that basket. And tap has largely really been kind of pushed to the dance academies, at least in New York, which is so sad to me, because when older shows are done, without that lens of nostalgia, when they're done as hard as you can go with talented people and amazing choreography, they hit real hard. They're still really great shows. And one of my favorite roles, I'm a big fan of Singing in the Rain, and I wore that tape out when I was growing up, and then I got to do the Donald O'Connor role.
Oh, amazing.
And, oh my God. Now keep in mind, he did make him laugh, twice, right?
And ended up in the hospital.
And he ended up in the hospital because he was a chain smoker and
Right.
had an attack, after he was doing it. And then you have to do it 8 shows a week on stage. Oh my
Amazing.
God. And there's no cut where you can get your breath. It's the most
Right.
exhausting thing I've ever done, but still one of my favorite roles ever. I just love it so much.
Amazing. Tap is, unfortunately, a dying art form, I think. It is really not taught much.
It's having a resurgence in the rhythm tap world because it's found a pop niche, and that's really my background was rhythm tap growing up, and when you can do that, you can kind of do a little bit of everything in the tap world. But you're right, it's so sad.
I know, audiences
choreography in
here-
general is kind
Not-
of fallen by
yeah.
the wayside. At least
Audiences
in New
here
York.
love tap. They love tap.
Oh my god.
So there you go.
Oh my god.
Alan Cornell, I should listen to that.
yeah. I'm just putting it bug in the ear. So I was doing I was working for a repertory company years ago, and I was playing Lieutenant Schrank in West Side Story, and which is very odd because I don't get to play mean characters or like sort of antagonists. And there was an incident, and we lost our Tony, and I learned the role of Tony in 48 hours and went in for the rest of the run while repping 2 other shows. But that was kind of that was a dream. Tony has been a dream role of mine since I got into the theater world. So like getting to do that even on like 48 hours notice was just like I was like, yeah, no, I'll do it. Yeah.
Such an amazing show, so well put together. So
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so compact and powerful in its message, and the characters are so well written and everything.
Absolutely.
It's just great. Alessandro?
A dear memory of mine is back in college. I actually got the opportunity to work with my mom, who Sky had mentioned. I was able to be in the ensemble of Sweeney Todd, and she got to play Mrs. Lovett opposite Terrence Mann, who is Sweeney, and to watch her work every day, be in that rehearsal room, and just get to be on stage with my mom was a dream come true.
Wow.
So I'd say that's my highlight.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
My mom works for Southwest Airlines. And I get to see her when I fly sometimes.
There you go. That's
I
fun.
love it. I'm like, hey, Ma.
I got to play Pippin, and my mom was the grandmother, and got to do that
Oh,
one number
exciting.
with me.
That's
That
cool.
that was a great. It is
That's
a really nice
amazing.
experience to act with your parents.
Well, guys, I thank you so much. For anyone listening, if you want to know a little bit more about these great characters, you'll have to come see the show, get the playbill, read some of the bios that we didn't get a chance to talk on. But they're incredible musicians, incredible performers, and I know you are going to love them when you see them on stage. We're so excited to have you guys. Thank you for your time today and sharing your stories with our listeners. So we thank you for listening, everyone. Until next time, I'm Oscar Sales for Riverside Theater's Backstage Chat.